Hi everyone, how you all doing? I see that Charles and Camilla are in Sydney. What are they trying to do? Beg the Australians not to leave the Commonwealth? Personally, I think that Australia should make a decision, to be independent from us. Because I think we are blood guilty, to be honest with you. I think if you go back to the colonisation, how we treated people by sending them out there. Now, I don't just say this as someone that lives in England. I used to live in Sydney. I've been to old Sydney town. I've seen the history. I've seen what the Brits did. I've seen how they treated the native Australians, really the true residents of Australia, the Aborigines. I've seen all that for myself. And I think that they've got a strong argument for being completely severed from the Commonwealth and becoming a republic. And it looks as if they'll probably have another go at it. But protesting up to now has been sort of low-key. I think only 20, 30, 40 people like that are turning up in Sydney. And I think the police are doing their best to keep them cordoned off away from Charles getting a glimpse of them. And eventually I think that Scotland will probably get their independence from England. But not just yet. A few more things will probably have to happen politically, but I think the writing's on the wall that the once very powerful Victorian power, I think the writing's on the wall that she's a weakened giant, a fallen giant, and she doesn't have the right to beg people to stay if they want to leave. And that's my personal opinion. So you Aussies, I'm sure you'll make the right decision. I still consider myself to be a bit of an Aussie. All my high school life was in Sydney, and also a place called Greenmount. I'm sorry, not Greenmount, Green Valley, which is outside Sydney, a few hours outside. Yeah, Green Valley. God, it used to get hot there. Bit stifling at times. Didn't mind living in Manly or Newport Beach or Avalon Beach. I didn't mind that because you're on the coast. You've always got that coasterly breeze blowing in, which is fantastic at the height of summer when you get that northwesterly coming through. It's beautiful. But when you're inland, you're kind of starved of that natural breeze, and everything just becomes so much more stifling when you're inland. Now, I used to have a few friends that lived in a place called Mudgee, and that was 4 hours drive outside Sydney. Mudgee, yeah. And they had 200 acres of land that they owned, and they had a stream running through their property. And so every summer holiday, if I had the chance, I would go there because I was very pally with the man's daughter and his son. And so I would get an invite to go there. And I loved it. You know, it was a glimpse for me of what could be God's new system, because it was beautiful sunshine, a river, glistening river, nobody coming on the outside to sort of distract you or attack you, or basically, you come through his gate and it takes miles to get to his gate from the main road. But once you get there, you just go through, you see his, what you call like a homestead, or the main house. And then everything else is just laid out beautifully. And you spend so much time outside singing songs. Somebody would play guitar, acoustic, and others would just sing. And we didn't have a care in the world. And I recall being there at the same time as Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. If everybody remembers that particular album, it's the theme tune to The Exorcist. And I remember people talking about it because these were Jehovah's Witnesses I was with, so people had an opinion about things like that. And I'd not heard of it up to that point, you see. So everybody's talking about this Tubular Bells and this theme to The Exorcist. And I says, what are you talking about? I never heard of it. And so someone played a bit of it. And I said, well, that's a satanic tune, is it? And he went, well, indirectly, but it's just used for the film, The Exorcist. I said, yeah, but it just sounds like a normal tune to me. Why are they classifying it as you can't listen to this kind of music? I said, what about Titus, where it says that all things are righteous to a clean person? So if I was to listen to this because I like the tune, is someone going to come along to me and say, oh, sorry, but you're not allowed to listen to that? But my conscience has deemed it okay to listen to. You see what I'm saying here? A defiled person can look at anything, and anything he looks at, he can put a bent on it. But a righteous person doesn't do that. He doesn't go round looking for a bent when there is no bent. He doesn't make something crooked when it's straight. That's the difference. And I live my life like that. And it served me well. So how do you like my wonderful setup here? You'll have noticed it's a Shure SM7DB. Beautiful mic. Very attractive. And I've got it majestically suspended on a corrugated arm that you can bend into shape. So I could bend another shape out there and bend the shape here. It's a beautiful way to hang it. And I've got my XLR lead that goes all the way up and into the mixer. But I think it looks quite nice. It's a nice backdrop. Anyway, people, what am I going to tell you? Oh, yes. At midnight, I'm off to London. I'm driving through the night. It's going to take me 5 hours to get to the South Bank. I've got 5 jobs to do in London. I've got one at Park Lane, that's sort of Marble Arch, Park Lane in the centre. That's the West End, near Soho, that kind of place. I've got one at Brent's Cross. I've got one in Brixton and surrounding areas. And I've got, about half a dozen jobs right in the centre of London. But I'm not staying in London. I'm staying outside London in Chelmsford and just driving in each day. I don't want to stay in London in case my van gets turned over, because you hear that the London gangs, they go around to hotels during the night and they just Jimmy open the doors and take all the tools. They've been doing it to contractors for years. And the hotels, they won't reimburse you if your van gets broke into. So that's not nice, is it? So I'm trying to mitigate against that and minimise the chance of that happening by staying outside London. It's an hour and 20 minutes drive to get to the hotel, but, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Anyway, I'll see you. Bye-bye.